to the National Institute of Academics. Barron'S Gre words list 42. Sadistic Sentinel. Word, sadistic. Meaning, inclined to cruelty. Sentence, if we are to improve conditions in this prison, we must first get rid of the sadistic warden. Sentence, saga. This is a saga of the sea and the men who risk their lives on it. Scandinavian myth. Any legend. Sagacious. Meaning, perceptive, shrewd, having insight. Sentence, my father was a sagacious judge of character. He could spot a phony a mile away. Word, sage. Meaning, person celebrated for wisdom. Sentence, hearing tales of a mysterious master of all knowledge who lived in the hills of Tibet, Sandy was possessed with a burning desire to consult the legendary sage. Word, salient. Meaning, prominent. Sentence, one of the salient features of that newspaper is its excellent editorial page. Word, salubrious. Meaning, healthful. Sentence, many people with hay fever moved to more salubrious sections of the country during the months of August and September. Word, salutary. Meaning, tending to improve, beneficial, wholesome. Sentence, the punishment had a salutary effect on the boy, as he became a model student. Word, salvage. Meaning, rescue from loss. Sentence, all attempts to salvage the wrecked ship failed. Word, sanctimonious. Meaning, displaying ostentatious or hypocritical devoutness. Sentence, you do not have to be so sanctimonious to prove that you are devout. Word, sanction. Meaning, approve, ratify. Sentence, nothing will convince me to sanction the engagement of my daughter to such a worthless young man. Word, sanctuary. Meaning, refuge, shelter, shrine, holy place. Sentence, the tiny attic was Helen's sanctuary to which she fled when she had to get away from the rest of her family. Word, sanguine. Meaning, cheerful, hopeful. Sentence, let us not be too sanguine about the outcome, something could go wrong. Word, sap. Meaning, diminish, undermine. Sentence, the element kryptonite has an unhealthy effect on Superman, it saps his strength. Word, sarcasm. Meaning, scornful remarks, stinging rebuke. Sentence, though Ralph pretended to ignore the mocking comments of his supposed friends, their sarcasm wounded him deeply. Word, sardonic. Meaning, disdainful, sarcastic, cynical. Sentence, the sardonic humor of nightclub comedians who satirize or ridicule patrons in the audience strikes some people as amusing and others as rude. Word, sectarian. Meaning, relating to a religious faction or subgroup. Sentence, far from being broad-minded, the religious leader was intolerant of new ideas, paying attention only to purely sectarian interests. Word, secular. Meaning, worldly, not pertaining to church matters, temporal. Sentence, the church leaders decided not to interfere in secular matters. Word, sedate. Meaning, composed, grave. Sentence, the parents were worried because they felt their son was too quiet and sedate. Word, sedition. Meaning, resistance to authority, insubordination. Sentence, his words, though not treasonous in themselves, were calculated to arouse thoughts of sedition. Word, scuttle. Meaning, scurry, run with short, rapid steps. Sentence, the bug scuttled rapidly across the floor. Word, sedulous. Meaning, diligent, hard-working. Sentence, after weeks of patient and sedulous labor, we completed our detailed analysis of every published SAT examination. Word, seedy. Meaning, run down, decrepit, disreputable. Sentence, I would rather stay in dormitory lodgings in a decent youth hostel than have a room of my own in a seedy downtown hotel. Word, seep. Meaning, ooze, trickle. Sentence, during the rainstorm, water seeped through the crack in the basement wall and damaged the floorboards. Word, seethe. Meaning, be disturbed, boil. Sentence, the nation was seething with discontent as the noblemen continued their arrogant ways. Word, sedition. Meaning, resistance to authority, insubordination. Sentence, his words, though not treasonous in themselves, were calculated to arouse thoughts of sedition. Word, sedulous. Meaning, diligent, hard-working. Sentence, after weeks of patient and sedulous labor, we completed our detailed analysis of every published SAT examination. Word, seedy. Meaning, run down, decrepit, disreputable. Sentence, I would rather stay in dormitory lodgings in a decent youth hostel than have a room of my own in a seedy downtown hotel. Word, seemly. Meaning, proper, appropriate. Sentence, Lady Bracknell did not think it was seemly for Ernest to lack a proper family. No baby abandoned on a doorstep could grow up to be a fit match for her daughter. Word, seep. Meaning, trickle. Sentence, during the rainstorm, water seeped through the crack in the basement wall and damaged the floorboards. Word, seethe. Meaning, be disturbed, boil. Sentence, the nation was seething with discontent as the noblemen continued their arrogant ways. Word, seismic. Meaning, pertaining to earthquakes. Sentence, the Richter scale is a measurement of seismic disturbances. Word, seminary. Meaning, school for training future ministers, academy for young women. Sentence, sure of his priestly vocation, Terrence planned to pursue his theological training at the local Roman Catholic seminary. Word, sensual. Meaning, devoted to the pleasures of the senses, carnal, voluptuous. Sentence, I cannot understand what caused him to abandon his sensual way of life and become so ascetic. Word, sententious. Meaning, terse, concise, aphoristic. Sentence, after reading so many redundant speeches, I find his sententious style particularly pleasing. Word, sentinel. Meaning, sentry, lookout. Sentence, though camped in enemy territory, Bledsoe ignored the elementary precaution of posting sentinels around the encampment.